iRacing, is it good, is it bad, is it an Apple product? I will cut to the chase and sum up for you that it is good at one thing, which is multiplayer races. Now, this is an iRacing review from someone who is not a fanboy, from someone who plays nearly all of the other racing sims. I say that because there's quite some iRacing dick riding, but also iRacing hate in the sim racing community. It seems like you're either iRacing or one of the other sims. It is a very divisive game because it is expensive and people tend to reinforce their behavior with their opinion, meaning so you either think, I don't want to spend all that money on it, and so it must be true that it is a waste of money. Or you did spend all that money on it and now you're so invested that you're stuck and can't even slightly agree that other sims might be doing some things better. So therefore it is hard to find people talking objectively about iRacing, so that is what I will attempt here. This review is about normal and dirt circuit racing in iRacing, meaning no oval races, so if you like that, iRacing is actually your only option. I own/usually race in the MX-5, Skip Barber, BMW GT3, F3 Dallara, RX Beetle, Porsche 911, Rough and the Audi. Up to the B class, but mostly I do D and C class. I will discuss in order graphics/performance, sound, ease of use, physics, gameplay and price.
The Freak Show.
Graphics/performance. Graphics, no. Just no. It's like 15 years old, it doesn't look very well as you see right here. It doesn't compare to games like Assetto Corsa Competizione nowadays with Dirt Rally 2.0. Now, you would think that the performance would be easy, but actually you still need quite a beefy PC for this. On the flip side, in VR, my opinion is that complicated objects in VR just make for a messy image anyway. And I'm looking at the Assetto Corsa Competizione and Dirt Rally 2.0 here. You just want it to run well in VR, not stutter, and iRacing for me does exactly that. And I think for VR actually it's one of the best experiences, but more on that in another video. Besides that, iRacing does have day, night and some weather cycles. No rain or snow though, but that might just be convenient as iRacing is slippery enough already. It is quite immersive and realistic how the screens go dark when the sun is suddenly overcast and the other way around. Also in VR dust accumulates on your helmet, it's just a cool detail I think. So despite the underlying graphics it can be immersive, but mostly because of the gameplay. Then sound, go ahead and judge for yourself.
Go on your left, stay on the right, go right. Clear on the left. Post car is off, time to do your job. Green, green, green.
I think it is okay. It's not as horrible as Project Cars 2, but not as good as Assetto Corsa Competizione or Race Room. Ease of use. How friendly is iRacing to lazy people like me? iRacing is very chill to use once you get into it. I did have some problems myself at the start, but just because it works a little different from other sims. Just having good filters helps a lot though. So you pick your race, load into it, and then you have all your option settings there. Pretty compact and all in one place. Especially for VR, this is very handy. You just set up your settings control once and otherwise it's just picking your race on screen. And just before the race you put on your VR headset as if it is a racing helmet, which is exactly how it's supposed to be. Physics, a somewhat controversial topic, especially when it comes to iRacing. Some people say it's too slippery, ice racing. There recently has popped up a video of many professional race drivers ranting about iRacing, link in description. The takeaway was that they think there is a lot less grip, that you cannot catch a slide as they would in their real cars. A big caveat to that video, however, there are many professional race drivers playing iRacing, and we know that even the most professional drivers never blame themselves but always the setup. Second of all, since there are so many of them, especially since the COVID-19 lockdown, it is bound to happen that you get some examples of drivers ranting. So I would take this with a grain of salt.
iRacing tires! Get the fucking job done! iRacing! What the fuck is going on, iRacing? Fix it! Oh my god! Fix your fucking tires!
I do agree, however, that iRacing is a lot less unforgiving compared to other sims. iRacing physics are surely challenging, you can easily lose grip. If that is realistic or not, don't ask me. But if that does not sound like it's for you, then stick with ACC or Factor 2 Race Room, probably Race Room especially. However, for instance, the Skip Barber is actually a lot of fun to drive. It's an old slow open wheeler, you can catch slides all day with it. It is a popular series, so there's enough races. Just look at this idiocy that I call driving. Beautiful. I do think the force feedback is pretty good, and especially with base shakers included, very informative. So any upgrade in wheelbase or tactile transduction definitely helps the experience. Gameplay. There's no doubt iRacing is frustrating, but immersive. Very frustrating though, but I guess that makes it exactly like real racing. The damage model is very unforgiving, any bumping into a wall or another car and 9 times out of 10 you're done. Not only that, but the guy girl you bumped into will curse you out in a voice chat. You just ruined the race for the both of you. So basically it's no fun, all prestige, you will just become miserable. It's like the CSGO of racing sims. It is quite addictive, you have your safety rating and iRating and you just want to push that up. There are several series with each one car or a car class, and every Tuesday the tracks change, so you get to really learn that car track combination well if you play a lot a certain week. iRacing has many different types of series, so let's say you're tired of all the serious circuit racing, then you can actually jump into some rallycross and remember what it was again to have fun. Another unique point which I cannot believe other sims did not adopt yet is the voice chat. This makes iRacing so much more social than other sims. It makes it so much more apparent that you're playing other real human beings. I mean, not much is said, usually just have a good race, stay safe, the race is not won in T1, T2, fuck you for dive bombing me, I hope you die, eat shit, your mother is a... Anyway, 10 points for iRacing. iRacing's strongest point, and it is unique in this sense, is how many servers there are up and how often you can have races that amount to something, meaning your iRating. So if your schedule is too shaky to play in custom organized leagues and other racing sims, then iRacing is a very handy outcome. I know it is for me. This is basically its only strong point in my opinion. Other sims have better graphics, better sound, physics that are more fun or make more sense compared to real life. I truly wish it was another sim that had that good of an online multiplayer organization, for instance ACC or Race Room, but they just don't. As soon as another sim would invest as much money as iRacing does into its multiplayer experience, then iRacing's days might be numbered. But I doubt it will come without a certain monthly subscription fee like iRacing has, as servers do need to be paid for, which brings us to price. So going from the best point to the worst, iRacing is subscription based. If your subscription is not active, you don't play. Starting in iRacing is not expensive. You can Google for iRacing coupons and you can always get the first 3 months for $5. But if you do that, you cannot apply for the 50% off new membership discount. The cheapest would be if you were to decide, okay, I'll get into it for 2 years, but then again, how the fuck would you know that you would want to do that? If you can try it at some friends, then that will be golden. So then you can start in the rookies, with most cars and tracks being free. Rookies is quite a mess, however, as is well known. The premium clean races everyone is talking about do not start at the rookies. Rallycross, by the way, is still awesome in rookies, so if rallycross is your thing, iRacing is actually really cheap. Then once you get out of rookies, for road racing you will want to get 1, 2, 3 cars for $12 each and some tracks for $15 each. Because for the D, C class, some of the tracks will be free, but most of them won't be. You can see how that adds up to quite some money. I made myself an Excel sheet of the series schedules that I'm in and counted how often each track is scheduled for, so that I maximized how often I can play. I will share that Excel sheet and how to use it in some upcoming video next season. Also, I will review the cars that I have, because I have most of the cars of the popular series and you cannot try before you buy, which really sucks. I think it's evil. iRacing is a little bit of an evil organization, let's be honest. I mean, you get hooked, buy or actually rent some cars and tracks, and still need to keep paying for your subscription. So how much is it? Let's say you start with 2 cars, 5 tracks, so that you can play at least each week. That is $100, and it will not stop there, trust me. You will keep spending money, and that is excluding the subscription fee. However, if you compare it to a sport, for instance, football club or a basketball club, you also pay a monthly contribution fee, and the servers do need to be paid for it, and the maintaining the series, the schedules, the results, and all that. I think a lot of people forget that. That's I think where the money goes, I assume. So is iRacing for you? Are you broke? Then no. I'm sorry. We've all been there. We've all been students, but very sorry, but it's not for you. Are you really competitive, got that Michael Jordan-esque drive, that tiger blood in you? You like that competition more than anything else in a racing sim, like graphics, sound and physics? Then go for it. Or if you got VR, it's a good experience. Like I said, it's not that expensive to get into, but it is if you want to stay into it and compete with the higher ranks. So yeah, it's sort of like heroin or casinos. So oof, this was a big one. I hope it was informative for you. Let me know if you have more questions, put them in the comments, and I'll be really happy to answer. I'll be on them. So please help me out with a subscriber dibble. Cheerios.